So, hello. We begin week 3, and I have to tell you, I feel tremendously fortunate to have discovered mindfulness practice at a very tender age. Actually, as very young, 18, and had a really good teacher who was very kind and compassionate. He was very patient with my impatience. So I hope that I'm passing on that tradition to you, that you have something within you that you can develop to be there for you. So the way I feel about it is, in mindfulness practice, what's being clarified is that I am here for me, without judgment. I know how to be present to myself, and I know how to cultivate a sense of wonder, joy, peace, present moment, and it doesn't matter who turns against me, I'm not going to turn against me. And I could even eventually not turn against those who turn against me. So mindfulness practice is really that inner resilience that people have, and it's been demonstrated through history, that no matter what is happening around us, we still guide our own being with our deepest values and our most precious, admiration, a sense of beauty, a sense of purpose. And that's why we're doing this. So I really am grateful that you get to, or that I get to walk with you through this 8 weeks, and hopefully even further, because we can stay connected. And this is week 3, and week 3 is a really nice moment in this process. There's 3 practices this week. One is a new meditation that's called a meditation on movement. And so we're going to discover what it's like to put our awareness on our body while doing simple movements. We're also going to learn, we're going to couple that with another breath and body meditation. So what we'll start to notice is that as we move through this program, we're invited to hold a couple of meditations together, and oftentimes the breath and body meditation is a meditation that either sets us up for what's next or that helps us kind of be with what we just encountered. And it really is the home base for the mindfulness practice is breath and body. But we're going to see it branching out in different directions. This week we're also going to begin practicing something called a 3-minute breathing space, which is a way to insert mindfulness into our lives on the fly in a very brief practice. And that practice could be something we do just to kind of give ourselves a fresh start of mindful presence, to carry that through our days, to nurture a sense of compassion. And we could even use it as we get good at practicing that. We could use it if we start to notice a spiral of stress that's kind of building up. So what we know is that there's really only one thing that works well with difficult emotions that might build up within us, and that's awareness. So none of the other resources that we typically use, like distraction or numbing, or well, those are the 2 big ones, or kind of planning or going up into our head, fantasizing, none of those actually take care of the emotional mind like just pure, simple awareness. So we're learning to practice self-awareness in vivo in little 3-minute bits, and it could even be shorter. The same paradigm would work. So I'd like to start by just mentioning this 3-minute breathing space. It has an hourglass shape, and the wide part at the top is when I just look within myself and I say, what's the weather in there like? Like, what's going on within? That's a very broad kind of query. Like, how busy are my thoughts? What am I noticing in my body? Is there a lot of emotional energy happening? Are there residual sensations from other things that have happened? Is there a song going through my head? So it's really very broad, capturing what's happening within. And it's not an inward looking that's judgmental or trying to sort out good and bad. It's really just kind of encountering myself as I am for about a minute with curiosity, with warmth. Then as I look in, I switch, and the narrowing part is bringing my attention to my abdomen and how my abdomen, the sensations of the breath moving in the abdomen for about a minute. This really brings me home to that core experience of being human, which we call breathing in the abdomen. Sit with that for a little bit. And then we broaden that out for the last minute to a sensation of the whole body breathing, which we've done in other meditations. And this sensation kind of wakes us up. It gives us a refreshed awareness of the body in the present moment. And then when we finish, it's kind of a segue into like what comes next. How do I approach the next moments in my life mindfully? And we're going to be, for the next several weeks, working with this 3-minute exercise and expanding it. The more you practice it early, the more you can learn to do it without listening to the tape. So eventually you want to get to the place where you go, I need a breathing space, and you know exactly how to approach it. It's like a little internal dance. And it just takes a few minutes and then you're done, and you move into the rest of your day or into the next moment with a refreshed sense of mindful awareness. So, and then the last piece, the habit releaser for this week. So this is an exercise that's designed to break us out of automatic kind of behavior and thinking. One of the things that happens to humans in this culture is that we have automatic turn on the TV, turn on the radio, check Facebook, those kind of things. And what we're kind of given to do this week is to take those bits of media, especially television, and wrap them in planning and intentionality so that I actually decide ahead of time I'm going to watch this program, and I don't just click on the TV and kind of surf. I don't. So for this week, we'll be abstaining from automatic television watching. So a lot of people bundle these kind of experiences together. So some people, like if I'm home alone, I'll be honest with you, if I'm home alone and I make a snack for myself, let's say an apple, and I cut it up and I have some almond butter or whatever, there is a pretty strong automatic thought like, oh, flick on the TV and see what's on. So this week we're going to go against the grain of that and only turn on the TV when we are planning to watch something, and then turn it off immediately and kind of live with that change. So this brings a sense of newness to our life, like what happens when we break a habit or break a pattern and experience something different. All of this week is really kind of, again, we're going against the grain of automatic thinking because that's where we get trapped. And one of the traps, I call it the pursuit of happiness trap. That's in the Bill of Rights, the pursuit of happiness. And it's a great American value, right? We all are allowed to pursue our happiness. As we've uncovered in this book, there's a real danger in that we may be pursuing something that is several steps away from us, and we see happiness at the end of a chain of events that I do. And that's kind of exhausting, because the human mind, when it casts that picture of like happiness several steps out, will also bring up all the things that could go wrong with that. Like, what if I don't do it? And then once that happens, we can start to feel a sense of, and it happens very gradually to people, a sense of our happiness being displaced, like a carrot that we never taste. And that can fill our mind with worry and self-recrimination, like, why don't I do those things that will make me happy? This week we're looking at how we can get caught in that trap and what it's like to get free from it. And we're going to be talking about a couple of qualities of the human mind. One is that we can either be in an aversive mode, which is like an avoidant mode, like we're running from danger or we're trying to avoid negatives, or we can be in an approach mode, which is we see the reward and we are confidently moving toward it. And to some degree, this aversion mode seems to be, it really gets strong when people are trying to pull themselves into behaviors that are supposed to make them happy somewhere down the line. Now, if that could be, I mean, that's a really positive quality. It's like I'm planning and I'm taking steps to get something done. But one of the things that's possible is that, well, a famous author that I really like, a guy named Thomas Merton, said it this way. He said, "Many of us will climb the ladder of success, but too late will realize that it's leaned against the wrong wall." So a lot of us live with mythology or ideas that we've been given about where happiness lies, and you can see even how children are programmed to believe that getting A's on a piece of paper at the end of the school year somehow is happiness, and we're going to kind of funnel them in that direction and punish them if they don't work hard enough and reward them for, and it's a big celebration, but many people have experienced that as kind of an empty reward. So we have to be careful about what we're actually striving towards, and that it's a real reward. And it's very easy for humans to get misaligned with reality and not actually be pursuing anything that amounts to much. So that's what we're working on, is how to use awareness to keep our movement alive and fresh and to keep it in that approach mode. And really what we are wanting to experience is that the present moment is a reward in and of itself. We keep coming back to that. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and thanks for going on this journey with me.